Hello, Taurus. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Gilded Tarot Royale by Ciro Marchetti, text by Barbara Moore. Website is at the bottom here, llewellyn.com. There's also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram information. Feel free to freeze frame on that if you're interested, of course. Supportive Oracle cards, Spellcasting Oracle cards by Flavia, Barbara, and Lizbeth. They're their full names if you're interested. On the back, there are some websites, shewhoisart.com, I always notice, and there's a few others. Feel free to freeze frame and check out whatever you'd like to check out. Okay, Taurus. Things right now don't seem... I feel like you're not happy with something, but things are actually lifting. The energy is lifting. I don't know if I'm recognizing it. For like something about this is kind of like I'm still unhappy. You got happiness at the bottom. I feel like it's here. It's just kind of like something is settling. At the bottom of the deck, I had the Four of Cups, and then the Star card is pushing out of it, which makes me feel like I'm not letting go of something, and I feel like I'm rethinking, and I'm rethinking, and I'm rethinking, and I'm rethinking, and I'm rethinking. You got to do what you got to do, clearly, but it's one of those things where if you just keep thinking the same literal thing and you're just making yourself feel bad, something didn't go right. Definitely something didn't go right, and you're not happy about it. I don't think you're going to be happy about whatever the past is. Something went wrong. There is no happy resolution. I don't know. I just feel like that's just not going... It is what it is. Not to be... I feel like that's callous. How else can I say that? Like, overthinking it to the point where you're just beating yourself up about it, but you can't change what already happened. It's kind of like, you know, you have a favorite... Let's make it simple. A favorite vase. And you weren't looking, and you bumped to the table, and boom, it flew off the side, and it smashed. And you're like, how did I not notice it was there? It's not supposed to be there. Maybe you were washing it or cleaning it up, and you put it somewhere, and you just thought weren't thinking about it because there was a lot going on, and then you're like, I can't believe I did that. And you just keep beating yourself up about, if I had just this, if I had just that, I don't like how this happened, that shouldn't have been that way, I never do things that way. And you just keep doing it. I mean, it's a very simple analogy, I know. But if you just keep pummeling yourself, like, I feel like you might be pummeling yourself with this feeling, kind of like, I'm not happy. If that energy is really hitting for you, every once in a while I mention Paul McKenna, big Paul McKenna fan. How to Mend Your Broken Heart. It is romantically related, like it's geared towards romance, but you can edit those things for anything. I've used it for like situations, like literally something didn't go right that I liked, and I just edited it towards a situation versus towards a person. You'd be surprised how much that helps. It could actually start helping you move that energy from like a hard, difficult moment to like starting to go towards something better. Could. Something worth trying if you want to. If you don't want to, then you don't want to. The energy is trying to lift around you is what I'm getting. I feel like there's negative self-talk. I feel like I did one of these for Pisces, not this week, but last week maybe, or a week ago. Something about negative self-talk. I feel like you have, maybe that's what's going on. Negative self-talk is holding you back, which is hard. That's hard to combat sometimes. But like they're saying, like things are going better. It's just kind of like being at peace with it. Sometimes when things go bad, giving ourselves permission to be happy can be a challenge. And that might be the thing, giving yourself permission to be happy. It might be kind of like, I don't feel like that's fair. I don't feel like that's right. I don't feel like I have the right to be happy. Some people do that. And it's stepping out of that and realizing you do have the right to be happy. Whatever happened, I don't feel like there's anything malicious from your side. I don't feel it. Even if it's there, it's kind of like you learn from it. It's still time to let go of it. So even if you walked up to a sibling and punched them square in the face and broke their nose, for whatever reason, stepping back and going, I did it, I'm not going to do it again, I feel crap for it, changes have been made because of it, It's time to let go. It's time to kind of like resolve it. That's a hard one. I don't know if did somebody punch their sibling in the face? What happened? I don't know. Because it's time to kind of like allow yourself to heal, allow yourself to be happy. Which is easier said than done. I know that. There's energy around you trying to help you move on. Is that the Fool card? It is. The Fool card is here behind the King of Cups. It does feel like it's more hidden. Somebody is literally trying to not... Whatever the problem is, I feel like they're staying out of it. If you brought up the situation, I do think this energy, because it's the Fool card, this person would talk to you. I feel like they stay in the I don't know category, and I feel like unless you bring them into the this is what happened category, I don't feel like they're gonna put any question marks there or ask you any questions about the situation. They're trying to help you lift your energy. I feel like there's a lot of attitude here of the sense of like if you wanted to talk about it, you would bring it up. If you don't want to talk about it, I don't feel like it's right for me to push it forward, so they're not. They definitely care. I get the King of Cups. I also got the Queen of Cups here. But that's the energy going through right now. They're like I'm just shutting up about it. And they're trying to lighten the load. They're not trying to make light of your situation. That's not what they're doing. But they're kind of... Logan! No, there's nothing in there for you. Sorry. Whew. They're trying to be diplomatic about it. I feel that very much. Is this normal for this person to be diplomatic? Because I'm wondering if this is out of character. Because I get a lot of water and then some air. Some like... Those are not usually compatible energies. Not typically. Alright, so that's the Knight of Fire and the Hanged Man. That's a very curious combination. The Hanged Man kind of feels like whatever the situation is, they don't feel like they don't feel very empowered to really do anything about it to improve your situation. They don't feel equipped to help you in that situation. Whatever it is, they just don't feel like they have the ability to really make it better. But they do. I feel like when I'm also seeing the Hanged Man, especially with the Justice card, kind of like, I don't really feel like I can make it better, but I'm afraid if I start putting out questions or starting a conversation about it, I could easily make it worse, and I don't want to do that. There's also the Knight of Fire. This person seems to be fun, whoever it is. And if they're not fun, they might just be one of those people that keeps going. Is it the Knight? Yeah, okay. So they just keep moving. I feel like they're trying to distract you from it. I don't know if that's successful, but they're trying to do something positive in the sense of like not making you think about something that you've already probably thought of a lot. Feeling like they're not really empowered to really make things better, so they just don't want to make things worse. And if they can lighten your energy a bit, they can make things better for you, they're going to try to do that. But unless you tell them or start the conversation with them, I don't think they're going to address whatever it is that's going on here. Feels like they kind of have maybe a general idea that something's off, but they're also the type, like, if you wanted to talk about it, you would talk about it. Logan! My cat. He is something today. By the way, the Justice card comes out twice. It's in the actual environment, and it's at the bottom of this reading, which is telling me it's built on this. This whole situation might be kind of confusing. They do seem to be thinking of you a lot, but they're trying to make the right decision. This is ironic, because I'm seeing the Six of Pentacles, which is another balance card to me. A give and take. All of these, like, scream Libra. It doesn't have to mean you're dealing with a Libra, but it's kind of like I care, I don't want things to go wrong, I don't want to create conflict, I just want to lighten the energy and hopefully get through this so we can move on. I don't see this changing unless you want it to change. If you want this person to talk to you about the subject, you're going to have to open the door. If you don't open the door, they're not going to open the door, is what I keep getting. I'm definitely getting a Page of Swords, kind of like they're holding back. They might feel also, like, for example, if this is somebody who, maybe this is a coworker, and you're having family problems, they might be feeling like they might feel like that's really crossing a boundary for them to actually ask about your family life. they might be feeling that way, but they might be okay with you talking about it or bringing it up or starting that conversation, but they feel like if they open that door, especially since you seem to be upset about it, that it's inappropriate. They might feel that way, just to be fair. Should you talk with this person about the situation? Is that going to help Taurus? Will that help Taurus? Tower card. And then the Eight of Cups. Okay, short answer, yes. Long answer, the tower hitting is telling me if you start this conversation with this person, they'll tell you what they're thinking. They'll point out some things and they'll try to help you move on from it. That tower card makes me feel like it's kind of like if you have a wound, okay, maybe you've already dressed it and done what you needed to do with it, and then they're kind of like, well, did you clean it? And you're like, well, of course I did. And then they're kind of like looking at it, they're like, you didn't really clean it that well, though. So I feel like they're kind of like, let's take off that bandage, let's clean it a little better, which is not fun. It just makes me feel like I had a burn once, and I'm thinking, oh my god, that was horrible. So I'm thinking they take off the bandage, they clean it a little better, which is not fun. It's not as bad as the original pain, but like the damage is still there. So they're helping you clean it a little better, and then they wrap it up correctly. And I feel like they're helping me resolve some of my feelings. They're explaining things, talking about things that hurts to go through it. But I do feel like the Eight of Cups coming in afterwards, kind of like I'm accepting the situation more, and I feel like they are helping me kind of mute out the negative self-talk. I feel like they are helping me mute that out. So it is helpful. It does seem like it's painful at first, though. It does feel painful. Like I'm equating it to physical pain, but emotional. I feel like it's more emotional pain. Sooner or later, things are going to come forward. It's just kind of questionable how long before the sun starts shining again. If you're with me, it's kind of like it's day after day of fog and rain, fog and rain, fog and rain. How many days have to pass before we get a nice sunny day again? A nice beautiful day and a beautiful sunny dry day where I can do stuff outside. It's out there. I'm getting this as more of a foundation card. This is more of a this feels more like when I see the tree especially, it's kind of like things are a little messed up. That's a twisted tree. That is quite the twisted tree, but it's still beautiful. It's still strong. It's kind of like accepting it for what it is and working with what I have. It's kind of like whatever you're not happy about, I don't know if you're ever going to be happy about it, but it's kind of like accepting it for what it is and letting the life come back into your life. It's there. I really feel like the highlight of this reading is like there's a lot of negative self-talk, and I think that's what's holding you down the most. I don't know if that helps, but I hope that helps. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.